This is CBS News.
Staples stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Get a taste of sweet rewards, up to $5,000 cash. Every Friday in February from 7 to 11 p.m. Play for a chance to take home the chocolate bar, with prizes from $1,000 premium play all the way up to $5,000 cash. Don't miss Sweet Rewards. Only at Soaring Eagle Getaway. Reimagine. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more bills or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need. Times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-761-5522. 800-761-5522. That's 800-761-5522.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Well, we're cloudy skies and 31 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. An Alpena man is facing multiple felony charges for allegedly drugging and sexually abusing underage girls. Police say that 70-year-old Thomas Arthur Van Dynen was arrested Wednesday and charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct during a felony, 3 counts of aggravated child sexually abusive activity, and using a computer to commit a crime. Police say that in 2021, a victim accused Van Dynen of providing illegal drugs to young girls and forcing them to have sex with him. Investigators say that search warrants turned up digital evidence produced by Van Dynen, including pictures and videos. Police say they've worked to identify other possible victims based on the evidence. Van Dynen was arrested last Wednesday and remains in jail on a $1 million. Saginaw City Council meets tonight for the second time this month. The city staff from the Water and Wastewater Department will give updates on water and sewer rates and other projects. Also on the agenda is a lease termination for a property that Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Great Lakes Bay region is vacating. According to the recommendation by Cassie Zimmerman, Director of Planning and Economic Development, the organization will continue to provide services to at-risk youth in Saginaw from a new location better suited to its current needs. Residents of Midland are being asked to participate in the city's master plan processes in a fun way. The City Planning Commission and the Grace A. Dow Memorial residents to hold their own mini master planning input session with a customized pizza and planning kits. Each kit will contain pizza-themed items to help create the perfect Midland pizza or master plan, including a menu of toppings representing specific goals or objectives identified as priorities by the Planning Commission. Together, each pizza-making group will decide which of their 8 favorite goals go on the pizza, giving the highest priority in the city's new plan. Kits can be picked up at the library's adult reference desk starting tomorrow. You can complete and return pizzas to the library's circulation desk by April 15th. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
This segment of Our Community Saginaw Community Foundation. For the month of February, Saginaw Community Foundation proudly spotlights major courts for minors. Major Chords for Minors was created in 2011 to provide free music lessons and instruments to kids whose families might not otherwise be able to afford this for their kids. Our professional instructors teach individual lessons on piano, guitar, and drums for Saginaw kids in 3rd through 12th grade. MCFM has a vision for a community where all children have access to growth through music and mentorship, regardless of their family's economic circumstance. Since its founding in 2011, Major Chords for Minors has provided free music instruction to over 1,500 at-risk kids from low-income families living in Saginaw. Funded solely through donations and grants. Each donation helps us achieve our goal through music. Anyone interested in supporting our cause can visit majorchordsforminors.org to donate or mail to P.O. Box 3629, Saginaw, Michigan 48605.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Police are reminding drivers to drive safely on Michigan roads after someone was ejected from a car Sunday morning. State police troopers responded to a rollover crash on the Lodge in Detroit just before noon. Officials say the driver was reported to be driving recklessly before losing control and the driver was wearing a seatbelt, but 2 passengers were not. 1 passenger in her 20s was ejected. All 3 were injured. On the second day of the Michigan's GOP state convention, 2,100 Michigan Republican delegates have voted on a new state party chair. Michigan News Network's Chris Kaiser has this.
The party elects Christina Caramo to be its next chair during yesterday's convention. Caramo, who lost her race for Secretary of State during the 2022 election back in November, beat out 9 other candidates vying for the party chair position. Chair is tasked with managing messaging and fundraising through the elections and guiding the GOP platform.
Gas prices in Michigan are down slightly from last week. According to AAA, drivers in Michigan are now paying an average of $3.27 per gallon for regular unleaded, which is 4 cents less than last week. The highest prices are in Metro Detroit at $3.35 per gallon and in Ann Arbor and Marquette at $3.32. The lowest price is in Grand Rapids at $3.09 per gallon. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Mike Perchap.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly cloudy skies today, a high near 37. A chance of rain and snow overnight tonight, low around 31. More snow chances on Tuesday, high near 35. And snow chances continue overnight Tuesday night, low around 26. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain all falling on Wednesday, high near 31. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain continuing overnight Wednesday night, low around 26. Even more snow, sleet, and freezing rain on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Michael Cotter with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 28 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Well, indeed. Westside Decorating Center at 5789 State Street in Saginaw with their newly expanded showroom and everything you need for home decorating. Nice to be back again after a week off and back in the saddle. And a good way to start, because we are going to start by talking to the state senator for the 35th district. We say good morning to Senator Kristen McDonald-Rivet. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning. How are you today?
We're doing well. Hope you are too.
Yep.
I want to start with a downer, I'm sorry to say, but you're an MSU alum, a Spartan, and the campus had a rather traumatic incident with some violence. What were your thoughts?
When it first started coming in, I saw it for the first time. We got a notification from the majority leader telling us that there was something going on. I not only am an alum. I actually had classes in Berkey Hall, spent a lot of time in the student union. My husband is an MSU alum, and we have kids who are there. So, honestly, my very first thought was, again, I can't believe this is happening again. And then stayed glued to my phone through the night while I was texting my friends who have kids on campus, my friends who live in East Lansing. I lived in East Lansing for 20 years. It just was something that we sadly started to get used to in this country, but hitting that close to Michigan State, 5 miles from our state capital, was an absolute nightmare.
So after these incidents, we always hear about gun laws and changing gun access and all of that. Where are we with that in Michigan, and how much of it would have changed anything?
Well, let me start by saying that we always, when these things happen, particularly when they're so close to home, we want our pound of flesh, right? We want to say, what is the one thing we could do that would have stopped this? And the reality is there's not one thing. So there's no one solution. There are a couple of things that we're doing. On Thursday, the Senate Democrats were working on a package of gun sense legislation, things that we think will go a bit of the way in stopping the epidemic we have of gun violence. So these shootings, as horrible as they are, make up less than 1% of gun deaths across the country, right? We have a problem with gun violence. It's the number one cause of death with kids in our country now. So we introduced a package of bills. I'm proud to be a sponsor of one of them that are dealing with issues that have broad support across our state. So things beginning with expanded background checks, making sure that extreme risk protection orders, so dangerous people can't get their hands on a gun, and then also safe storage laws. I grew up with guns. My dad was a hunter. He never let me actually hunt with him because I talked too much, but he did let me scout his location. Hunting is a part of our culture. It's a way of life, but access, unrestricted access to every kind of gun for every person, regardless of history of violence or potential mental illness, is not responsible. And most gun owners support these kinds of things.
Bring up an interesting question. In talking to federal firearm license holders, gun dealers, the fallacy of background checks is HIPAA, because you can't get mental health information.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get around that?
Well, so that is why we have background checks coupled with what are called extreme risk protection orders. So what that will do is allow somebody. So if you look at the shooter who had a history of mental illness, who had a history of interaction with the law, what this new set of legislation would do would allow someone like his mother or father, or in other cases, a spouse to come forward and say he should not be allowed a gun right now. He's having significant mental health challenges.
So who determines if that's accurate?
The courts.
So they will do what?
It's not an easy process, right? It's not capricious. It's not something that someone can do. There are a lot of protections in the legislation to ensure that it can't be used as a vendetta, as something, that gets in the middle of a horrible divorce. It really is a well thought out process. And you know what? These laws exist in very conservative states like Florida, like Indiana. This isn't a runaway progressive agenda. These are laws that 90% of people in the state support and have shown to have some impact in other states.
And this would be what we commonly call red flag laws.
Yes. Yeah.
So Thursday?
We introduced them on Thursday.
All right.
So then they've got to work their way through the process. There is a deep commitment, not just within the Democratic caucus, but we are having conversations with folks on the other side of the aisle. I expect them to have bipartisan support, and we hope we can move them quickly. And so let me go back to saying, this is not the one solution that would have stopped what happened at Michigan State, or even what happened at Oxford, but it is a step in the right direction. And it's also action that those students sat at the Capitol for hours asking us to take some action. But the other piece that isn't getting a lot of coverage that I think is important are the dollars that we're allocating in the budget for mental health support, particularly in our K-12 schools. Our mental health system is incredibly broken. There's a lot of pieces to this puzzle that we have to work on, way past the moment in time where people are covering a close to home shooter. We have to be working on this 6 months from now of rebuilding systems that are at the root of where a lot of this violence is coming from.
And how long will that process take, do you guess?
Well, I would expect, it's always a mistake to predict a timeline in the legislative process, but I expect this to move fairly quickly. I think that you should see certainly action in the Senate within the next couple of weeks. And my hope is that we get it to the governor's desk within a couple of months.
I want to talk about budget for a moment. The state of Michigan found itself in the enviable position of having billions of dollars in surplus. But a lot of that attributed to the pandemic and federal money coming in and everything.
Right.
When that money goes away, what's the state budget going to look like?
Well, at this point, we're looking at the potential of having a surplus in the general fund budget and in the schools budget for the next 3 to 4 years. Last week we passed through both chambers a very large tax break for people in Michigan. We repealed the retirement tax. The piece that I sponsor that I was really proud to have gotten through, particularly this early into my term, is a working families tax credit. So folks that are on the lower end of the income scale but still working are getting a pretty large tax cut. So altogether, it's almost $1 billion. And we felt like with the surplus that we had, it was important that we get money back into the hands of people that are still hurting from the pandemic. And so that's part of it. You'll see a pretty big investment in education in this budget, as well as some really innovative tools to try to think about how we can bring bigger jobs, particularly in our region, which is my focus.
You talk about investment in education. What does that mean? Where does that money?
It means there's more money per pupil, a historic level of more money per pupil, but it's also this budget for the very first time in years has dollars for school nurses, has dollars for mental health professionals in our schools. It's got dollars that will help support teachers coming into the field where they will be, so student teachers have never received a salary before. This is a stipend for student teachers to solve the big crisis we have of teachers who are retiring and not enough folks to fill them. So lots of different places. And then the other piece of it that I think is really exciting is a very, very large expansion in our state-funded preschool program.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break. We'll come back for one more segment. We're talking to State Senator Kristen McDonald-Rivet, and we will return with the senator right after these notes. And let me take a moment to talk to you about my friends at McDonald Ford, because as you've heard me say, they've been my dealer for many, many, many years. I've known the McDonald family for better than 40, 45 years, have been good friends. And when they started this Ford dealership in Freeland, I was happy because I drive a lot of Fords. And they're more than a Ford dealer, though. I mean, even though the name is McDonald Ford, they are so much more because they have a pre-owned vehicle lot that has all kinds of marks on it, from Chevys and Jeeps and Cadillacs, Lincolns, you name it, you're liable to find it there. Right now, for example, I'm driving a 2019 Chevy Silverado Z71 Trail Boss pickup from their lot. And all of these vehicles have been through their extensive 100-point inspection. And when you need service, or if something is not quite to your liking on the vehicle you buy, they have a huge service department that's not only capable of doing those minor repairs, but major repairs too. And they have a collision department, a drive collision, and a quick lane change center for quick oil changes. It's all waiting for you at McDonald Ford. And most of all, they're a community dealer. And what do I mean by that? Oh, recently, they paid off the Freeland High School library debt. Yeah, you heard me right. They paid it off. So, if you want a dealer that's part of the community and family-owned and treat you like family, McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, a devotee to helping and serving your automotive needs.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be?
I'm Connell McShane. This is the Fox Business Report.
The stock and bond markets are closed for the President's Day holiday. It is shaping up to be a busy week with earnings from Walmart and Home Depot tomorrow, the Federal Reserve releasing minutes from its recent meeting on Wednesday, and the gross domestic product for the holiday quarter on Thursday. Meme stock investors piled into Bed Bath & Beyond shares this year, sending the stock higher, though the Wall Street Journal says now they are seeing big losses. The home furnishings chain has deal with Hudson Bay Capital Management. It is expected to keep the company in business, at least for now, but it will dilute existing shareholders. Those shareholders would likely have been wiped out if Bed Bath & Beyond filed for bankruptcy. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan. Easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. They do not care if the value of your retirement is sacrificed. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word safeguard to 989898. There's nothing to buy. And text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSW online poll about the Fair Tax Act of 2023. There's a faction of House Republicans introducing the decades-old idea of the Fair Tax Act. The bill outlines a 23% use tax, though some analysts believe it's going to be closer to 30%. If it's enacted, it would replace both payroll and income taxes. Supporters even say in the future the IRS could be eliminated because the bill would cut out funding in the future for the IRS. We do remember that former Michigan Congressman Dave Kemp did hold a fair tax hearing years ago, but never went anywhere. Some Republicans say that Speaker McCarthy actually said he was going to bring it to a vote.
Part of the agreement on getting the votes so he could
yes or no on this Fair Tax 2023 bill. We'll give you yes, we'll give you no on this bill, though you support the overall idea of a use tax, or no on this bill and you don't support the use tax at all. Or the popular, I'm not sure. You can make your votes by going to WSW.com. Scroll down the homepage, look for the poll box and make your vote that way.
Your morning team, Charlie, Denise, and Pat, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley, Van Camp, and Robin show, I made a paper airplane, but Joe Biden shot it out of the sky. Should have just wrote China on it. It would have been fine.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Art Lewis, and we're chatting with 35th District Senator, State Senator Kristen McDonald-Rivet. So as you look ahead to this year, Senator, what are your priorities? What's top of the list?
So my main priority from the beginning with everything that I do is trying to think about how we raise the median income in our region. So, you heard me talking about it during the campaign. It's still my priority now that I'm in the Senate. 80% of our jobs in the region are low wage, and we have to attract employers with higher wage jobs. We have to incentivize work, and we've got to figure out how families can do a little bit better economically. I mean, it's just there's too many of us that are just struggling.
All right, let's talk about attracting those jobs. It's been much discussed, particularly since Ford moved those two plants to Tennessee, and former Senator Horn was instrumental in trying to figure ways to bring industry to the state of Michigan. What do you think the state needs to do to attract industry?
I think it's a mix of things. I'm glad that you brought up Senator Horn. I've spent a lot of time with him since I got elected. He is an advisor of mine. I think that he was on the right track, trying to think holistically. So some of it is about those big incentives that Senator Horn helped shepherd in. But I also think that we are reaching a place where companies are not using those incentives to make their decisions. What they're really trying to what brings jobs are folks a big talent base. They want workers. You know, everyone will hear job providers say we can't find people to fill these jobs, and in our region, we have to train folks for the jobs that actually earn a living wage, that earn middle class wages. We have to invest in our universities, and you know, we've got Delta College right down the road, one of the best community colleges in the country. So it's both investing in bringing companies here and also investing in the talent that's here, because we can offer them as much money as we want to. If we don't have the talent base here for them to fill the jobs, they're not going to come.
I mean, it's almost a chicken or egg thing, which came first, because you know, we have all these young people graduating, but then moving out of state for jobs.
Yeah.
So how do you get employers here with the jobs when all those people are leaving?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a mom of 6. 5 of my kids are grown. None of them are deciding to stay in this region. Most of them are leaving the state. So I feel this as a mom. And you know, to be perfectly honest, I want to see my grandkids. But you know, you sit down with young people and ask them what they want. They want to be able to live in safe neighborhoods. They want public transportation. They want to be able to have thriving downtowns, cool restaurants, coffee shops, those sorts of things. It's, you know, we have to invest in the region, in what it's like to live here, in order to keep people here and see our grandkids, frankly.
They want all those things. Are they willing to pay for them?
Well, you know, luckily we're doing this consideration at a time when we have a surplus in the budget. And from the state's perspective, I think that our priority after we've gotten our schools funded absolutely has to be in this space. It's called placemaking, investing in our regions, investing in communities to make sure that we've got whatever they need, whether it's investments in our busing system or just funds that are available for folks to start small businesses. That's where our priorities need to be. And you know, there's a pretty big bang for the buck in that. So you know, there's some pieces in the budget. I'm the vice chair of the economic development budget, and am prioritizing how we get dollars back into our communities in order to have people want to live here.
It's one thing to spend the one-time dollars on an investment. It's quite another to raise the baseline of cost, because when all that surplus goes away, the state now has to pay for all that increased baseline. How do we do that?
Yeah, so I hear you. You know, as a small business owner, I understand the importance of one-time investments and then fixed costs. And frankly, just as a mom of a very big household, I understand that. So you'll see a lot of the one-time dollars, and it is interesting because while we have a very large surplus, I think we have probably $50 billion of requests, people coming and saying, well, there's all this money, here's my idea. We're being very disciplined about that, because this one-time money is not only, can we not translate that into a fixed cost, we also have to use that for the recovery from the pandemic. That's, you know, there are a lot of folks who sort of moved on, but there's still a lot of people in our community that still have not financially recovered. And then you add inflation on top of that. It makes for a really hard living. So we're using the one-time money in those ways, but the way we're doing that with economic development is using those dollars to help with initial startup, some of the infrastructure that companies will need in order to land here. But absolutely, it's a priority. We can't be using one-time money to be built into the budget that then causes a deficit 5 years down the road.
Senator, let me finish up talking about politics a little bit. We are a divided country. You can hear it in the news every day. And politics has become a nasty business in many ways. In terms of Lansing, let's look at Lansing. Forget the national politics, because there's very little you and I can do about it. What's the political climate in Lansing? And this is the first time the Democrats have had the legislature in a long, long time. What's the climate?
Lansing is not as dysfunctional as Washington, D.C. But it's highly partisan. And I think part of the problem is the what's become acceptable in political seasons, the attack ads, you heard there were ads calling me a drug dealer, right? That last campaign cycle was one of the nastiest we've seen. And I was hopeful that I would, when we stepped into our role as a legislator, that much of that would end. It is not. I actually don't think politics has to be this way. I think that we can expose the nastiness when we see it, which I try to do occasionally. And then the other piece of it is we can refuse to engage in it. There are legislators that are very interested, Democrats and Republicans, of coming down the middle, right? Of developing relationships, getting to know one another, working legislation. I've already developed really great relationships with other Republicans in the Senate. Here locally, we've got a mix. Within my state Senate district, the vast majority of our state reps within my district are Republican. As we have Representative Amos O'Neill as well, who is known for bipartisan work. So some of it is just about tuning out the nastiness and the awfulness and remembering why we're there and working to get things done. And I think that that's more possible in Lansing than it is in DC.
I've always had a theory that the far left and the far right make all the noise. Most of us don't live there.
Right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Senator, thank you for taking some time this morning to spend with us. And I'm sure we'll do it again down the road.
Great. Thanks. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Senator Kristen McDonald-Rivet, we thank her for spending the morning with us and chatting with us about what's happening in Lansing. We're going to take a break. We come back. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour here on the Art Lewis Show.
Your local Zematic dealer works hard to give you every advantage when it comes to your irrigation operations. This year, we're giving you a head start in preparing for the upcoming season by letting you choose between industry-leading interest rates and deep per-tower discounts on a new Zematic pivot. The earlier you act, the better your deal will be. Better deals, better equipment, better season. Better contact your local Zematic dealer today to learn more. Terms and conditions dealer or visit lindsay.com/spring sale for full details.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. My friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without craving, gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Hypnosis designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. For only $49.99, become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminar Saturday, March 4th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City. Stop smoking seminar at 2 p.m. Weight loss seminar, 11 a.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Moments like giving my pet her good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor why. Symptoms including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids Chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure for max strength daytime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. DayQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the business. Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
The Saginaw Spirit play here.
Taking a shot by Barlow, high off the bar. Rebound comes back in front. What a save by Lennox with the left pad. And he's without his helmet. I can't believe that puck stayed out of the net.
The Saginaw Spirit will try to win their 4th in a row when they wrap up their road trip at the Mississauga Steelheads later on this afternoon. Coverage begins at 1:50 p.m. on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. The Spirit return home this Friday night. For tickets, visit SaginawSpirit.com.
It's Saginaw Spirit Hockey on WSGW. The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Art Lewis back with you after a week off. My thanks to Kareem Bowen, Matt Fallon, and Larry Rotarte for filling in for me while I was gone. Always appreciate it. I had needed to take a break after my wife's passing in January, and we had originally scheduled a trip to Florida to visit friends of ours. And after her passing, we decided and talked to my sons and daughter-in-laws and the folks that I was going to visit in Florida. And we decided that I should go and get away and relax a little bit, unwind. And it was an interesting trip. It's kind of funny in a way. Went down there to get away and relax. And lo and behold, I get down there. We were in Cape Coral, which is just west of Fort Myer. And at least 4 or 5 friends of mine were down there and all wanted to have lunch and do this and do that. So it was an interesting time. It was also interesting. We drove around and looked at some of the devastation from the hurricane last year that is still quite evident. It's going to be years before they get some areas rebuilt. We drove onto Sanibel Island, and it was devastated. I mean, it was destroyed. Yeah, there's still some structures standing and all that, but the amount of damage was, unless you actually were there to see it, is incomprehensible. Mother Nature is not to be fooled with, that's for sure. They had 155-mile-an-hour winds that just absolutely destroyed buildings, put boats on land in the middle of trees. You see these things and you go, no, I didn't just see that, did I? And there are huge debris piles everywhere. And there are double-bottom dump trucks removing all this debris. I have no idea where they're taking it, but they take down the structures that have been damaged and they just pile up the debris, and these trucks come along and haul it away. And the other thing you see when you drive around, blue tarps. Apparently right after the storm hit and there was a lot of roof damage, FEMA came in and distributed these blue tarps and had them put up on roofs. They're everywhere. And not just 1 or 2 here or there. Half the homes have them. They're everywhere in that region. And that was the center of it. Fort Myer, Sanibel Island, Captiva, which is the northern part of Sanibel Island, and Cape Coral to some degree, but more Fort Myer Beach, down toward Bonita Springs. They got the brunt of it. And when I tell you that there are blue tarps, it could be a blue city. It's amazing. And the roofing companies are going bonkers. I mean, there's not enough people. Who knows how long it'll take you to get a new roof. Now, the house I was in, fortunately, they only lost about 10 shingles, and they had those replaced right away, and they had a box that protected a water system they have that was destroyed, but it was all small stuff, and they had it redone right away. But many, many homeowners down there are not as lucky. So it was an eye-opening lesson on how you don't want to fool with Mother Nature. It was absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. Met a lot of nice people. And on the way home, met a lot of nice people. I happened to have the opportunity on one flight from Fort Myers to Atlanta, sitting next to an airline captain. He flies for Atlas Cargo. And for those of you who don't know, Atlas Cargo was the line that just received the last constructed 747 off the Boeing line. They own that airplane. He said they have 67 747s. They fly over the world. He was about to go on a two-week trip that was going to take him all over the place, including Australia and back. And he explained to me, on the longer hops, they have multiple crews on board and all of those things. But it was fascinating talking to him about flying today's modern aircraft. And then coming out of Detroit yesterday, I got to sit on the shuttle bus next to a Delta captain who had just finished a leg and was on his way home, and talking about, current flight conditions and all of those things. It was pretty interesting, really nice guys. And we exchanged cards, and hopefully maybe we'll communicate. Who knows? The one captain, the cargo captain, says, "Hey, okay, I've got your frequencies now. I can tune you into my cockpit." I said, "What?" He said, "Oh, yeah, anywhere I am, I'll get you." I said, "Okay, sounds good to me." But anyway, they were very nice guys, and it was a pleasure meeting them. I also have to have kudos to a couple of things. I have to have kudos to, first of all, MBS is where I fly out of all the time. And for the first time in a long, long time, I had a delay on Delta. It was a crew change delay because the incoming crew to my aircraft coming out of Atlanta Saturday were an hour late because they were late getting in. And that held us up, and I only had a 50-minute flight change in Detroit to get up to Saginaw. So I missed the Saginaw flight, and the night flight was booked. So they put me up to the hotel and all that good stuff, rebooked me for yesterday's flight up, and got home yesterday afternoon. But Delta could not have been better. You hear all the horror stories about the airlines and all that stuff. They could not have been better or nicer to me, and appreciate their good service and everything that was done. I mean, they really went the extra mile, and I appreciate that. And you have to, there's lines and everything else, and you go through the lines and do your thing, and even the TSA was friendly. So it was a good experience. The travel part of it was, even with the delay, was a very good experience. And to my friends in Florida that hosted me for the week, love you dearly, and thank you much for your hospitality. They'll remain nameless. I don't want to, embarrass anybody or do anything like that. But they know who they are, and they know how much I appreciated their hospitality at a time when I kind of needed it to get away and relax a little bit and unwind a little bit. And one of the nice things about missing the flight on Saturday was that I got to stay in Detroit. And so one of my sons and daughter-in-law who were in town, we got together for dinner, and so it was a little bonus with my kids. Anyhow, lines are open for you. Anything you want to talk about, 989-752-6111. And we'll take a quick break and come back, chat more with you.
What is that?
My new car.
It looks expensive.
Honey, that's why I'm taking it to Paintbull for rust proofing, graphene coating, maybe even some paint film.
Paintball? You'll find any reason to go to Paintball.
Well, I want this car to last and to look good, so I look good driving it.
You mean so I look good driving it?
What?
Gotta go.
Keep your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintballrepair.com.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. For over 60 years, Menards has been the one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. Whether it's protecting equipment, livestock, or you just need a place to keep your toys, Menards has a post-frame building for you. Design and buy your new post-frame today for 11% off. There's no limit to what you can save. Good through February 26th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, this is Joe from Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Sungyi Fitness in Saginaw. You're going to get half off of a one-year adult VIP membership. That's with famous fitness classes and programs packed with club amenities. Enjoy the energetic atmosphere at Sungyi Saginaw and check your fitness goals off one by one. This deal is for new members only. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Mr. Clean.
I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just freak,
wipe,
done.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Magic eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
SGW Morning Team.
Just never been a enthusiastic fan of Valentine's Day.
That's okay. I concur with you.
I'm sorry. I just love that Christmas time starting in November. They're saying, go get this expensive jewelry. And then 6 weeks later, go buy some more expensive jewelry. I look at it this way. I'm going to the grocery store tomorrow to buy all of the Valentine's candy. That'll be about 50% off.
Come in with chocolate overload.
That's not love. I don't know what is.
And then save all those little sugar hearts for next year so that they can be as hard as little rocks.
What's worse, those things or Peeps?
Peeps have a shelf life of like 1.5 million years.
Listeners, you need to tell us. The hard heart candies or Peeps?
So what you're saying is that Peeps are the candy equivalent of Keith Richards. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the morning team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Why do I not think Peeps for Valentine's Day? Anyway, welcome back. And Paul is in Saginaw, so let's say good morning to Paul.
Morning, Art. Glad you had a good time.
Thank you.
Back, in Florida, and then you're back in the saddle.
Yipper.
So, yep. I heard your guest earlier didn't mention anything about fixing the roads.
No, I didn't get to that. We'll do that again.
I guess that wasn't
not a high priority, but there's enough. I mean, they got all kinds of money out there for the roads because they had that big bond issue, and there is money. From what I understand, there was money in the budget for it. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, I got 3 quick issues for you. Just the facts, man. While you're away on Skubik's PBS Friday night show of February 10th, it was reported that Michigan was #1 in the country of all the 50 states for small business closures in 2022. And fact number 2, I met for February 9th, page 1B, reported that the Vatican-Beijing agreement, whereby the Vatican is paid $2 billion with a B a year by the Chinese Communist Party to remain silent about the persecution of Catholics and others in China. And fact number 3, also in that same newspaper on page 6B, it reports that only 17% of U.S. Catholics now attend Sunday church in 2022 from a previous 28% in 2021. So those are my 3, just the facts, ma'am, I wanted to report.
All right. Good enough.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
All right, later.
I know that the attendance in church, not just Catholics, all over the place is down. Religion is losing ground in this country. There have been poll after poll and study after study about it. Younger generation coming up doesn't seem to want to have much to do with it. It's not just the loss of churchgoers, but there appears to be a loss in faith in God, which is fundamental. I mean, you get down to the bottom. I mean, you do not, let's understand this. You do not have to go to church, temple, mosque, whatever, to believe in God or believe in your religion. You can be very faithful to God, pray to God, believe in God, live a godly life, and never step foot in a sanctuary. That's your right in this country. And it's also reality. There are a lot of people who don't believe they need a middleman between themselves and God. So to some degree, that might explain why church pews are not as full as they were in the past. But the bigger problem is the loss of faith in God itself. Because that does not portend well to the future. In this country and many countries in the world where our foundations were built on Judeo-Christian principles or on Muslim Quran principles, when you lose faith in the Supreme Being, you also abandon all those principles. So somehow, and I am certainly not smart enough to figure it out, somehow we need to reaffirm our faith in God. We need to instruct young people as to why it's beneficial to have that faith and what it means to your life and how you carry on your life. It's more than just the brick and mortars. Now we are seeing a loss in faith. And I think it's a destructive loss to our society, because when we start to lose our principles, not care about the lives of others, we see the results. And they're not pretty. They're not fun to watch, that's for sure. Every day it's in the news. Disregard for human life, total, complete disregard for human life. That's certainly not what the good Lord teaches. Somehow, someday, some way, and again, I'm not smart enough to know how, that needs to be fixed. All right, we will take our last break for this hour, then be back.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Why do I like to work at Alpha Media Saginaw? Endless opportunities.
Fun work environment.
Flexible schedules. Alpha Media Saginaw is expanding their marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We offer flexible schedules, full benefits, and paid holidays. If you have a passion for sales and love building relationships in the community, contact General Sales Manager Carrie Gustafson at 989-752-3456 or apply online at alphamediausa.com/careers.
Alpha Media is an EEO employer.
Rocket Grab Plus.
What would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at rocketgrabplus.com? Check out all of our half-off deals going on right now from Applied Training Solutions, Daylight Outfitters, Super Cute, Salon Blue, the Bubble Tea Brew House, and Style Encore. All of these deals are half off. Head to rocketgrabplus.com right now and snag your deal before they sell out.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Detroit Tigers baseball is back on WSGW.
Watch it fly! Gone!
The first preseason game broadcast is Saturday, February 25th at 1 p.m. Then you can listen throughout March for select spring training games leading up to opening day on March 30th. Track the Tigers all season page online at WSGW.com. For 56 years, it's Detroit Tigers baseball on WSGW.
All right, that wraps up the first hour of the Art Lewis Show for this Monday, the 20th of February. Coming up during the 10 o'clock hour, we'll talk to Bianca Padilla about senior caregiving in the country. And then we'll have more open phones for you. All of that is ahead this morning following the news from CBS and the local report. And I'll talk to you right after that.
In Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. President Biden drops in on Ukraine.
You're succeeding against all and every expectation except your own. We have every confidence that you're going to continue to prevail.
I'm Stephen Portnoy in Warsaw. The president's trip to Ukraine was in the planning for months, and it was a closely held secret. Only 2 journalists were allowed to accompany. He flew out of Washington before dawn yesterday. The White House says the Russians were notified in advance that the president would be traveling to Kyiv. Here in Warsaw, Mr. Biden is expected to meet with more Eastern European leaders and give a speech about America's enduring commitment to the Ukrainian effort.
Reverence for former President Jimmy Carter.
People should come here and appreciate the life and the contributions he made both during his presidency and after.
I'm Jim Crystal in Plains, Georgia. Hearts are heavy in this small town after word that native son, former President Jimmy Carter, is now under hospice care.
He loves Plains. He loves the people. He knows that this is a sweet place to live. We care about him. The world, but the people in Plains are very special to his heart.
Jan Williams is a Carter family friend. Mr. Carter is said to be at peace, surrounded by his family, including former First Lady Rosalind, his wife of more than 75 years.
Jimmy Carter is 98. North Korea has test-launched an intercontinental ballistic missile, followed by 2 short-range ballistic missiles. Ralph Casa is a North Korea expert.
What they're trying to do is pressure us into stopping our exercises. They're very upset. You know, they thought they had a deal with with President Trump, but no more military.
Joint U.S.-South Korea military exercises are conducted annually. Police in Southern California say Roman Catholic Bishop David O'Connell has been found dead in his home over the weekend.
The death is now being investigated as a homicide, and investigators have not found the gun used in the shooting. The Archbishop of Los Angeles paid tribute.
He was a peacemaker with a heart for the poor. And
CBS's Carter Evans. Norfolk Southern Railroad CEO Alan Shaw is talking about that train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio earlier this month. Here's WKBN-TV's Stan Boney.
Shaw is pleased with the cleanup so far.
We're making a lot of progress.
He could not say, however, where the soil and liquids being collected are being shipped off to.
We're taking it to landfills that are designed to handle that type of material.
What city and state?
I don't have that information.
You don't know where they're going?
No.
Residents have reported health issues since the derailment. This is CBS News.
Steel can help save you thousands by owning your own custom-designed buildings. Call 888-98-STEEL or visit GeneralSteel.com.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Democrats win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. They do not care if the value of your retirement is sacrificed. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word safeguard to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Have you? When the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust.
So much dust.
And that poor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
What's for dinner?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. West GW News.
Hey, Colorado skies and 33 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Kochuk. Starting today, Stars bus route hours will be extended Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's in Stars bus service in Saginaw. Executive Director Glenn Steffen says now that staff and vehicle levels have increased and stabilized, weekday hours will be extended back to pre-pandemic levels. He says they aren't quite able to return to Saturday service yet, but are working towards it. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, has provided funding for several area housing commissions. The funds by the commissions for a wide range of housing issues in their respective communities, like replacing roofs, upgrading heating systems to be more energy efficient, and even installing water conservation measures. Communities receiving funds include the Bay City Housing Commission at around $700,000, the Alma Housing Commission at $254,000, the Saginaw Housing Commission at $1.6 million, and the Mount Pleasant Housing Commission at $300,000. The funding comes from a $3 billion investment by HUD across all 50 states. The Saginaw Valley State University professor will be recognized this Saturday in Indianapolis for her work in education. professor of teacher education and TEP, has been selected as the 2023 recipient of the David G. Imig Award for Distinguished Achievement in Teacher Education by the American Association of Colleges for Teacher Education, or AACTE. TEP teaches both graduate and undergraduate programs at SVSU and has been with SVSU's College of Education since 2000. She's also chair of the AACTE's Advisory Council of State Representatives and serves on their board. TAP is currently on sabbatical from SVSU, working with NASA as a Jet Propulsion Laboratory Education Executive in Residence. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Hey everyone, Eric Crane here with Crane's L&M Appliance Center. I understand how important it is to make sure you get the best bang for your buck. Well, now is the best time with our B4 tax refund sale. Take advantage of special pricing and rebates on GE, LG, and Frigidaire products. Tax refunds go further here at Crane's as we offer new, rebuilt, and scratch and dent appliances. Crane's L&M Appliance Center, 3260 Bay Road in Saginaw and 1556 West Carroll Road in Carroll, where we want to earn your business.
We now call to order the meeting of extraordinary heroes. Thunderfoot, here. Mega Maiden.
Let's go.
Wheat Farmer.
Yeah. What am I doing here?
You defeated Evil Dog. Saved your crop quality.
Well, yeah. I used Sphere X fungicide on my wheat and barley.
Keep your secrets, man.
No secret, just best-in-class DOM reduction.
So modest. A mighty hero indeed.
Be a hero with Sphere X fungicide from BASF.
Always read and follow label directions.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. An investigation is underway after 2 Detroit police officers were found dead on Sunday. Livonia police were called to a condominium complex to conduct a welfare check. The officers were found shot to death. Detroit Police Chief James White says early indications point to a murder-suicide, but Livonia police are continuing the investigation. White calls it a tragic and a sad day. As Michigan State students return to classes today, administrators and university leaders like MSU Board President Dr. Rima Vassar says there needs to be flexibility because no one student is the same.
There's going to be more accommodations made for students who need to come back in their own ways. There is no right way. There is no one way. And the diversity of needs on our campus has actually been the strength of MSU and will continue to be attended to as we go back to campus.
Vassar's daughter attends MSU, and she's not sure what will happen when classes resume. Vassar says the morning will be filled with love and togetherness as students and everyone associated with the university will come together to support one another. Many Michigan universities are spending millions of dollars on research, but the University of Michigan spent $1.64 billion in 2021 to rank third in the country in research and development spending. The National Center of Science and Engineering Statistics says MSU spent $710 million to rank in the top 50. Other Michigan universities making the list: Wayne State, Michigan Tech, WMU, CMU, Oakland University, Eastern and Grand Valley, and Detroit Mercy. WSGW News Time, 10:09, 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Indeed, Westside Decorating Center, our sponsor, and we welcome you back here on the Art Lewis Show. We're going to talk a little bit about senior care in this country. We have a couple of guests to do that this morning, and I know one of them is Bianca Padilla. Bianca, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Sure. And who is with you this morning?
His name is Brandon Felt, and he's one of the recipients of our Caregiver of the Year Award. He's our Gen Z recipient.
All right, so let's talk about when you say our Gen Z recipient, what company are you with?
So I'm with Carewell. I'm the co-founder and CEO, and we are the most trusted and reputable retail source for caregiving products. So we have hundreds of thousands of caregivers who love our vast selection of expert vetted products. And so think about things like incontinence supplies, wound care, nutrition, mobility aids, etc. And we offer them at the best prices with fast, reliable shipping. But most importantly, the vast majority of these unpaid family caregivers in the country that we'll talk about, they have no idea what they're doing. They're doing it for the first time. And so we've got a dedicated customer support team that's available 24/7, English and Spanish, who are there to answer any questions or just have somebody to talk to.
So what's your story, Brandon?
Yeah, so I became a caregiver for my mom, who has a rare neurodegenerative disease called frontotemporal dementia, at the age of 19 in my freshman year of college. So I had to drop out of school to take care of her, get her a diagnosis, and then take care of her 24/7 and raise my younger sister at the same time.
To say the least, that's a life-changing experience.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. It was life flipped upside down for sure for me and for our family.
What did it take for you to figure out how to do it?
It took commitment to our goal of like caring for our mom. And then once we committed to that, it was just a daily process of working through problems. Sometimes we were taking things day at a time. Sometimes it was just moment by moment. And so once you have that commitment, the rest is just details.
And was it all on your shoulders?
Mostly. Yeah. My younger sister, she was a sophomore in high school. So it was me making sure that my mom got a diagnosis, that her care needs were met, that our mortgage was paid, all of those types of things.
Bianca, tell us, when folks find themselves in this position, where do they go for help? Where do they go to start to figure out what they need to do?
When I became a caregiver for my grandmother in similar situation, I mean, we had no idea what we were doing, and it was a family event or affair, so they didn't know what they were doing either. We found it really challenging to find really any resources. We went to Google, we would find information online, and then we try to speak to our doctors and nurses, but a lot of times they're really busy, and so they don't have a lot of time to give. And that's why we started the company, was to offer that source of support, that commitment that we were looking for, that was desperately needed.
Are you local, regional, national? How big is the organization now?
Oh, we cover 50 states. We serve hundreds of thousands of caregivers across the states, and we have a huge resource center as well. Every day we're putting out new articles, sharing the information from the community of the questions that people ask with answers from experts, so that all of the information that we've gained over the years, the tips and tricks of what it's like to be a caregiver, we share back absolutely for free with everybody in the world.
What's the website?
It's carewell.com. And you can also find stories like Brandon's and other caregivers through our social media. If you go to @Carewell Family on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, etc.
So what's the biggest challenge for someone who now finds themselves in a caregiver position that they've never had to do before? What's the biggest challenge?
I mean, studies show AARP just came out with their yearly study, and they estimated that caregivers spend over $7,000 a year out of pocket, their own money, to care for their care recipient. So there is a huge financial strain on caregivers. 1/3 of caregivers actually have to drop out of the workforce in order to provide full-time care. And so I think one of the biggest challenges is always financial, because caregivers have to work a full-time job in order to care for their loved one.
So your company provides what services? Hard goods?
We provide hard goods as well as the advice and information. So if you even have a question, we have so many resources. We know so many experts in the space that we can connect you to. So it's much more than just the products and getting them from a trusted, reputable source. It's really a community, and it's a place where you can find guidance and advice around so many other topics.
So how was Brandon selected?
So Brandon was selected amongst over 3,000 applicants, and his story really stood out. He was 19 years old when he dropped out of school and became the primary caregiver, caring for not just his mom, but his younger sister who's still in high school. And most people don't recognize and don't understand just the commitment that is required from caregivers. And people like Brandon, we see more and more of them every day. And that's because, the Gen Z population is having to care and step up for their parents with these longer demographics and, people getting sicker earlier now. And so Brandon really stood out to us. He was above and beyond. And his story was really, he's a hero. And we really want to just advocate for people like Brandon and continue to uplift the community.
So Brandon, where are you today in your life?
Yeah, so I am now returning to school. So pursuing a completion of my bachelor's degree in cellular and molecular biology. And so I am going to school full time, caring for my mom, and then also working part time. So as I've cared for her, my capacity has increased, and so that's been my goal, to be able to increase it to a point where I can do all of those things. And so
so you are you're still a caregiver. Mom is still with us, right?
I am. Yes, she is.
So how long did it take
she's sleeping upstairs right now. So
how long did it take you to come to terms with the fact that, hey, you have to have income, you want to go back to school, and same time you're going to take care of mom? That's a lot of balls to juggle.
Yeah, it is a lot. It was a slow process. I mean, I'm 27 now. I started taking care of her when I was 19. So it's been a long journey. It's been challenging throughout. Every day's been different, but every day has been an opportunity for me to learn something new. And it's I'm very grateful for the opportunity to take care of my mom, because there's a lot of caregivers who don't have the ability to do both. And like Bianca said, do have to drop out of the workforce or drop out of school in order to just care for their loved ones.
So when this first happened, you were 19 years old. Where's the first place you
That's right.
help?
The first place was social workers at our local hospital. Online resources almost 10 years ago were not very helpful, very broad and non-specific, and there wasn't a place where you could actually reach out to somebody like a care team to get those questions about products and different things answered. So social workers, very helpful, but there's a lot of things as a caregiver you have to learn on your own. One-on-one support is enormously helpful.
So having lived through this, what advice would you give to someone who now finds themselves in your position?
I would say it's reasonable to have fear about how you're going to care for your loved one, but know that it is possible to do. Taking things a day at a time or a moment at a time is the way to do it. Just work the problem in front of you and move to the next problem. I'm not special. I just made the commitment to my mom, and anybody has the ability to do that. It does take a lot of work, but it is possible.
Bianca, what do you tell people who find themselves in that position now? What do they do?
I say always to go online, start researching, but really put together a care plan with the family members around you. Ask for help and try to be as specific as you can. Sometimes that's hard. Brandon was saying in an interview earlier, sometimes you don't even know what it is that you need. So as family members, 20% of the population are caregivers. So offer how you can help and try to see, can you bring a meal? Can you help clean the house? Can I provide monetary support? Try to be specific.
And again, tell everybody where they can find your website and your advice.
Sure. It's visit carewell.com to learn more and visit our resource center where we've got tons of articles, tips, tricks that's very specific. And then you can follow us on social media to read more stories about people like Brandon at Carewell Family on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and more.
And Brandon, good luck to you in the future, my friend.
Thank you very much, Art. Thanks for having us on.
You bet. Both of you have a great day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And thank you. Bye-bye now. All right. So, listen, you never know when that's going to happen to you. And all of a sudden you find yourself responsible for a loved one. Pays to be prepared, to say the least. Take a break. After that, it's open lines for the remainder of the hour. So give us a call.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
Recently, I was working with a member to purchase an auto loan and saw an opportunity to help them save some money. By refinancing their credit card debt, we were able to save them over $600 a month. This is one of the many ways that we deliver outstanding service to our members.
Delivering marvelous experiences, saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. Wildfire Credit Union. It's what we do every day. Find out for yourself. Call 800-227-2328. Click on wildfirecu.org or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. These are actual examples of savings and not guaranteed in every situation.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our half-off deals going on right now from Applied Training Solutions, Daylight Outfitters, Super Cute, Salon Blue, the Bubble Tea Brew House, and Style Encore. All of these deals are half off. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now and snag your deal before they sell out. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Did you for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The stock and bond markets are closed today for the President's Day holiday. It will be a busy week with earnings coming in from Walmart and Home Depot. S&P Global releases business activity surveys from around the world. The National Association of Realtors releases its home sale numbers. And there's an update on the gross domestic product for the holiday quarter. Also an update on inflation. Because said Twitter is on track to break even this year, though the Wall Street Journal says the company hasn't been paying rent or other bills. The Journal says Twitter is facing multiple lawsuits claiming more than $14 million in bills are unpaid. Twitter's being sued by landlords, consultants, and vendors. Musk has been pulling back on spending in addition to cutting staff. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. They do not care if the value of your retirement is sacrificed. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free gold.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars, Lose the Weight or Stop Smoking. Guaranteed only $49.99. Seminar Saturday, March 4th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City. Weight loss seminar starts at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively.
We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, I made a paper airplane, but Joe Biden shot it out of the sky. Should have just wrote China on it. It would have been fine.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we are back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. And back to our phones. We have open phones for the remainder of the hour. We start out with June in Essexville. June, good morning to you. Hello, June. Oh, there
Yes.
you are. Good morning.
Good morning. I just have a question. I just turned the radio on, and you were talking to someone about China and the Vatican and $2 billion. What was that all about?
I don't know. He said he'd seen an article where China pays the Vatican $2 billion not to talk about things happening in China. I have no idea.
Well,
That's why I didn't
think-
say anything, because I didn't know.
I think to say something like that, and I would love to know where that information came. I'm Catholic, and I know things aren't perfect, but that really threw me. I thought, wait a minute, what is that?
He said it was in some kind of newspaper. I don't know what it was. And I don't know whether I
okay.
totally believe it or not. So, I just...
Okay, because I thought, I didn't know if you knew the source of that or whatever,
No.
but I thought to come on and say something like that, and he seemed to be focused on the Catholic Church, people less in church and that type of thing. But anyway, I was just curious to see if you knew where that came from, because that was something that I thought, wow, what does that mean?
So let me ask you a question, if I may.
Sure.
If I get too personal, tell me to shut up.
Okay, I will.
You are a Catholic,
Yes.
born and raised a Catholic.
Yes.
Religion in this country is losing parishioners. What do we do to change that?
Well, I'm not sure. I really don't know but I think somehow, and this is just because I'm older than you. But anyway, it just seems technology has robbed us so much of our human connections with people and like that. And I don't know. We're so absorbed with that, and I don't know where it is. I know I talk with my friends, and we talk about how different things are, and how communication is so different than it always was when we were growing up, and even as we were older. I don't know what the answer is, but I just know that when I look around and I see things, I'm a gardener, and I think people that don't believe in God, this is just my opinion, how you can take a little package of seeds that are like pepper, and these perfect flowers come out of this, and they're all the same. I mean, you have to believe in something. And I just believe that there's something bigger than us, and that God is, I firmly believe that. However, whatever form it takes in your life, if it makes you a better person to know that you have a purpose,
Now let me
and
let me tell you.
And
go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead. Finish up. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that any particular religion. I'm Catholic. I believe in my religion, but I know a lot of good people that don't go to church.
Oh yeah.
That do good things every single day, and so I don't judge that. I don't do that.
Well, I have to give you the good news about Catholics and my relationship to them. I'm Jewish. My wife was Lutheran.
Okay.
When she passed away in January, one of the first calls I got was from Bishop Gruss. And I truly appreciated that.
Wow.
So
and we all have extended family. We have people that we've worked with. We have people that we are involved in hobbies with. We can't. I mean, I don't do that. I figure, hey, I do what I do, and if they're good people, and
I love it.
But we have to. But anyway, that business, that when he said that though, with China and the Vatican, that kind of threw me, and I thought, well, I'm just going to call and see if you know where it came from.
I have absolutely no idea.
Well,
he likes to quote these papers he reads and takes them as gospel, and I have no idea. So
we don't even take the papers we read as gospel.
Good point.
Come on.
All right, June.
But anyway, thank you. I just was hoping that you would know, but hey, we'll just leave it at that.
I
So,
appreciate your call. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Next up is John in Freeland. John, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art. How are you doing?
We're doing all right.
Good. Hey, Art, you mentioned something about road repairs and where we had all kinds of money to do that with, and you mentioned the bond that our government had sold to repair the roads. If I understood that correctly, wasn't that just for state highways?
State and federal. It couldn't be used for local streets.
Yeah, and where do we need our most repairs at?
Oh, yeah, you read my mind. You are absolutely right. Now, supposedly, there's some kind of revenue sharing in the infrastructure package and things like that where communities will get some money. But it's a major issue because everything the state has done for the most part has been on state highways and federal highways.
Exactly.
And MDOT doesn't have control of the local streets.
No, they do not.
So
absolutely not.
So it's up to local highway departments and local units of government to figure out how to pay for it, and they can't afford it.
I live on very much a secondary road. The truck stop out here would probably do pretty well. The semis, there was a time they classified different roads and everything, and now there's no classification, just a weight limit here and there, and it's our secondary roads that need all the repair. I mean,
secondary roads and city streets and things of that nature, they need a lot of attention.
Yeah, you do not need these U.S. highways or the state highways. Well, they're getting work done every 3-4 years, it seems like.
What you need is both.
Yeah.
I mean, and I understand, of course, we all have to understand the state trunk lines and the federal highways are getting the overwhelming majority of traffic. But your everyday life in your own community, you use the city streets and and roads. They need attention. They cannot be neglected as they have been for many, many, many years. And now it's showing.
I live in Thomas Township,
So
and
do
like I said, you do. And out here in front of my house, there's 3-4 semis daily at minimal. And they shortcut going over to Tibbetawasi Road from M46. And until they stop that type of abuse on these roads, because they're not putting any work into them.
Yeah.
Well,
good
luck.
I
got one more question for you.
Yeah, real quick.
Okay. Hey, I don't know who did your show last Monday, but he had mentioned the fact that it was the first in history where 2 black quarterbacks met at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Well, with all due respect to Mrs. Mahomes, Patrick's mom, she's Caucasian, isn't she?
I don't know, but he's considered black. He has more traits as a black man than a white man. What's the difference? Who cares? But
I just didn't understand that. Why, if I was her or her family, it was.
Well, that's
It's an awful dicey situation.
I don't want to go there. I don't think it is, but that's beside the point. First of all, big deal.
Yeah, it was made a big deal, though.
Well, I know that.
And that's the part that gets me. I mean, hey, can't we all get along?
Well, I hope so. All right, Sean. Have a good one, John. I'll get to Sean here in a little bit. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Okay, thanks, Art. Bye.
All right, yeah, Sean, hang on. You'll be next. Let me talk about 401k for a moment, an important asset for many American retirements. You made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years and even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today. 989-835-7203, or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Why do I like to work at Alpha Media Saginaw? Endless opportunities, fun work environment, flexible schedules. Alpha Media Saginaw is expanding their marketing department and looking for the right team player to continue to help local businesses grow through on-air and digital campaigns. We offer flexible schedules, full benefits, and a passion for sales and love building relationships in the community. Contact General Sales Manager Carrie Gustafson at 3456 or apply online at alphamediausa.com/careers.
Alpha Media is an EEO employer.
Can you predict the future? I can't. That's why when I'm planting soybeans, I treat with Heads Up seed treatment. With more than 15 years of research, Heads Up offers proven protection against both white mold and sudden death syndrome. So no matter, you've already taken that first step to be prepared. Don't let your beans suffer from disease when they're just starting to look their best. Tell your seed dealer you need Heads Up seed treatment. Learn more at headsupst.com.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the midnight.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Let's get back to our phone. Sean is in Bay City. Good morning, Sean. Sean, are you there? Hello, Sean. Anybody home? Hello. Well, he's turned whatever that is. Sean, are you there? No, I guess not.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Now I got you. Yeah.
Technology. I swear, somewhere I hit the mute button and I didn't even know I did it.
Welcome.
I'm talking to nobody. Hey, how you doing, Art?
I'm doing all right, Sean. Thank you.
Hey, all right. Hey, just, you was talking about faith and religion there a little bit, and hopefully I can bring this a big circle here and bring it all back around. But you hit it on the head. When, and you can put it wherever you want, but when men can be women and boys can be girls, and we're chopping off things and we're killing babies and we think it's good, and anybody can do whatever they want. It's me, social media and all this stuff. Look, we're degenerates. That's what we're going towards, and it's no shock that to see what you see.
Yeah. So here's the question.
It's not a shock.
I fully, first of all, I agree with you, and I think that moving away from faith, moving away from God, moves us toward the kinds of behavior we're seeing.
Absolutely. If you believe in good and you believe in God, well, then you have to believe that there's evil and the devil out there, and he's hard at work. Yeah. And if you look around today, boy, oh boy, and people got to understand.
Not a pretty sight in some places. Not everywhere, but it's not a pretty sight in some places.
No, it's still great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
We're on a slippery slope here.
Yeah.
And people got to understand that when you support certain things, and I'm not going to get into it, look at what you're really supporting and who you're ultimately supporting. Is it good or is it not so much good? And bringing it all the way back around, and please don't misunderstand. My dad had issues, stuff like that. The caregiver's great. That's all awesome. But my point is this, from what I've experienced, and I'm 50, is that when you get close to death, you're the golden goose, man. They can suck every last penny out of you before you die, and you need this, you need that. You got to do this, you got to do that. So understand, people out there, that the medical field is like any other business. They're there to make money, period. And that's what you are, is a cash cow. And they will try, trust but verify. They will try and sell you and get, because I've seen it happen to people I know. They just throw everything against the fence. Do this and you can live 3 more months. Yeah, well, it annihilates your whole family, puts you through hell, and hey, we got paid $150,000.
Well, yeah, but they give you the choice. And let's also remember this.
Well, sure.
We are to blame for that because, for example, and I've said this 100 times, hospitals don't advertise, come stay with us because we're $10 cheaper. They advertise, come stay with us because we got the bells and whistles. We got the best docs. And when it comes to our health, let's face it, Sean, when it comes to our health, we want only the best. We don't we don't want somebody to
full circle with faith.
Yeah, we don't want somebody to say to us.
We put our faith in the pill. We put our faith in this procedure. We put our faith that you're going to save me, doc.
Well, yeah, but we also put our faith in God.
Put in, right? But here's my point. So it costs $300,000 for this procedure, and you only made it 5% better. That's not worth it.
Well, that's a choice you make, though.
Something. Well,
that's a choice. That's a choice you make.
Sure.
And you have the
and
choice.
Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to want certain things. But at some point in your life, when it reaches the end time, you have to understand that there's no fixing you.
Well, and I think Jimmy Carter's reached that point.
Your faith?
Jimmy Carter just reached that point.
In medicine?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you have to you have to have multiple faiths. You can't have, there's faith in God.
Correct.
But you also have faith in the medical community that they can help you. There is a cost. There's a cost to doing business. There's no two ways about it.
And what percentage are you getting better for the cost? That's what you got to weigh out.
That's the risk reward.
How did you and your family have to go through for an extra few days?
All right, Sean, I got to run. Got to take a break.
Yep, have a good one.
All right, buddy. You too. Take care. Bye-bye now. All right, Mike, Errol, hang on. We'll get to you in just a couple of moments. In this day and age, we're asked to do more for less, so we'll spend approximately a third of our life in bed. We really need quality sleep, and you can get that sleep on a mattress from Sanitary Mattress. They've been making custom mattresses since 1935. Rest assured, the Sanitary Mattress you're sleeping on was made right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your money stays right here in the local economy. In addition, Sanitary Mattress offers 1-hour delivery window of your mattress to your home, so you don't have to wait around all day. Sanitary Mattress can also make a custom mattress for your RV or boat, something the box stores can't do. Next time you need a mattress, think of Sanitary Mattress. Put them in your GPS at 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, or call them at 989-753-1757. Check them on the web at sanitarymattress.com. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sanitary Mattress Company, where you'll find everything from a crib to a king and everything in between.
Spring break is on the way. Do you plan to get away?
Yep, gonna get to the sunny side of the U.S.
Heading for the mountains for a family ski vacation. Hope there's snow.
No matter the plans, MBS International Airport is ready for takeoff. With services through Delta and United Airlines, you'll feel upgraded as soon as you walk through the door. Book your flight today at mbsairport.org, and we'll help you break away this spring.
We're still facing COVID-19, and now it's flu season. Why not face them together? You can get your COVID-19 vaccine and your flu vaccine at the same time. Just ask your doctor. You'll save time and you could save lives. People 65 and older and those with underlying health conditions are especially at risk. Let's face COVID-19 and get vaccinated. Learn more at michigan.gov/flu. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price, then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
It's Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Let's get back to our phones. Mike is in Bay City. Mike, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Yeah. Okay. Did you see where the Saginaw Spirits won 3 games in a row?
Yeah, they did. And hopefully they'll get another one this afternoon.
Yeah, what time that start on the radio?
Wow, I want to say 4 o'clock. I'm not positive, though. 1:50, I'm sorry. 1:50 this afternoon.
Yep. Are you going to listen to it?
I'm sorry?
You going to listen?
Probably.
Let's hope they win. Go
All right.
Spirits. Go Spirits.
Go Spirit. You got that right.
When's the next game is Friday night, right?
I think so.
Who are they playing?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Good enough. Take care, Mike. Bye-bye now. All right, let's talk to Errol in Saginaw. Errol, good morning.
You know what? I got a present for you. You want my philosophy of life?
Sure.
If I wake up on the top side of the grass, it's going to be a great day.
That's right.
Now, you went to Florida. Did you remember that you rented this big, expensive convertible?
I didn't rent a convertible. It was a fastback.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you rented a convertible.
They offered one, but I didn't want the convertible. I wanted the hardtop.
Well, I just thought maybe you changed your mind because when you didn't want to look in the mirror and see everything else on the top of your head gone. You know.
I knew where you were going.
Well, hey, how long have we known each? Oh, speaking of cars, how come you still don't own a really old classic?
Because I don't really have the time to spend on it like I'd like to.
Mm-hmm. You remember the one I had?
No,
I had
what
a
was it?
Corvair Monte.
Oh, yeah.
Heinz Spider Turbo convertible.
Yep.
And that this thing, when I had it, would outrace a Corvette for a quarter mile. When I had it with the turbo in it, it sat down in Bishop Airport for a couple of weeks one year. But this guy bought. I finally got tired of bumping into it in the garage. This guy from Alpena bought it. I said, "What are you going to do with it?" He says, "I'm giving my ex-wife a present in Florida, so she stays there."
All right.
So anyways, enjoy your day, sir.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you. Bye.
By the way, the spirit of playing North Bay on Friday. Just thought we'd mention that. Elizabeth is in Essexville. Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
Oh, I was calling in reference to the drop in parishioners.
Yeah.
I'm I'm an older mom, but I have an under, and we attend church regularly. I think the mentality that we need to look at with religion is those who attend church need to remember that it's our duty to raise the next generation, so that the generation that we were from, most of them don't go to church, but we do have children. So I think that's our responsibility to make sure that we're raising warriors for God.
Right. I would agree with you, but I don't see it happening. To some degree it does. Obviously, that's a big brush to paint with everyone, but as a rule of thumb, I think we're getting away from it. And the reason I think that, Elizabeth, and I'll get your reaction, we forgot to teach people how to be parents. Generationally, we've moved away from it. I mean, I was taught to be a parent by my parents, and I taught my sons how to do the same thing. But I don't, I just think there's too much me in it, not enough us in the world. And I don't know. I'm hopeful, but on the one hand, also realistic.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm hoping that if there's any, parents of children out there that are Christian, that they remember that, because there's an awful lot of single parent households, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
And you can't go back and fix that per se. But, I'm hoping that those of us who are still married and are raising our children together and go to church are trying to raise our children the right way, because hopefully it will set a precedence. I know, like, my boys play hockey, and so we actually had to make a difficult decision and switch from an association to accommodate our child to go to catechism, and it was really difficult.
Yeah.
But
you did
I'm fortunate that the church that we go to, there's surprisingly a lot of young families, and we're a very traditional Lutheran church. So
Excellent.
It's refreshing to see that. So I'm hoping
good enough.
that as
I hope you're right.
Our children.
Hope you're right, Elizabeth.
So,
have a good one.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
Last caller is going to be Carl in Saginaw. Carl, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art, and welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Last week, Nikki Haley announced her candidacy for presidency.
Yep.
I agree with some of the things she said. She said that the GOP has failed to win the confidence of the majority of Americans, and I agree with her.
Yeah, but she wasn't talking to you. She was talking to the party. So.
Okay, but did you heard her say there should be a competency test for politicians over 75 years old? I did. I wonder how you feel about that, considering your age.
I'm not a big fan. I just think that I don't think it's necessary. I think the public can be the judge of that when they hear people speak and when they go to vote. You may not like the outcome, but that doesn't make it wrong. I didn't like the outcome of Biden being president. That doesn't make it wrong. And I have to tell you this. I like Nikki Haley. I've always liked her. And I like everyone else I don't agree with everything everybody says. She can have a majority of principles and philosophies that I like, and she can say something I don't like. And she did. I'm not a fan of the competency test. So that's just me.
Yeah, well, I think she's trying to have it both ways as far as Trump. She's trying to say she's different from him, but I can't cite any examples.
Yeah, I think she's
different from him.
She's breaking away from him. She's breaking away
Well,
from him.
she says she is, but she will hardly mention his name.
Well,
she'll just talk about.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. If I were running for office, I wouldn't be mentioning my opponent's names. Why would I give them free publicity? I'll tell you about me and what my philosophy is and what my plans are. You know, that's like sitting here and telling you about all of the competition out there in radio and giving them all the credit. I don't do that.
Well,
why should I publicize?
I'd like to know.
Why should I publicize it?
Yeah, I'd like to know what her plans are.
Well, give her time. I mean, we're in the early throes.
She's been all over the map.
Well, give her time.
All over the map.
And most of them are. Tell me Democrats aren't either.
Okay.
So, all right. I got to run.
I
suppose. All right, Carl. We'll talk to you, buddy. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye now. Take our last break. We'll be back to close out.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded and to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Isn't that great? What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Saturday, March 4th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration and up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Discover the Criterion advantages and upgrade to new energy-efficient appliances. Criterion offers great quality and great features, all available at a great price. From dishwashers and refrigerators to washers and dryers, Criterion is ready when you are. Get 11% off all Criterion appliances now at Menards. Good through February 26. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from you're going to get half off of a 1-year kids Taekwondo membership or a 1-year kids Jiu-Jitsu membership. Sungyi is the premier destination for martial arts training in Saginaw, with classes for all ages, taught by expert instructors who are passionate about the art of Taekwondo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This deal is for new members only. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We'll be back tomorrow from Krzyzak's. It's Fat Tuesday, Bunchki Day. So we'll be broadcasting from Krzyzak's from about 5 o'clock in the morning on. Talk to you then. Stick around now. On Focus, we're going to take a look at Rocket Grab Plus. All of that coming up after the news. We'll talk to you then.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Biden made an unannounced visit to Ukraine early this morning, where he met with the nation's leader, Volodymyr Zelensky, ahead of Friday's anniversary of Russia's invasion.
It's priceless. It's worth fighting for as long as it takes. And that's how long we're going to be with you, Mr. President, for as long as it takes.
Correspondent Charlie Daggett was in the room in Kyiv where the two men met.
It's a huge message to the people of Ukraine, as President Zelensky said, to have an active U.S. president coming to an active and dynamic conflict zone during this critical time, at a time where they're marking the year anniversary since the invasion, where things are still happening here.
I'm Stephen Portnoy in Warsaw. The president's trip to Ukraine was in the planning for months. Secret. Only 2 journalists were allowed to accompany President Biden as were dawn yesterday. The White House says the Russians were notified in advance that the president would be traveling to Kyiv. Here in Warsaw, Mr. Biden is expected to meet with more Eastern European leaders and give a speech about America's enduring commitment to the Ukrainian effort.
North Korea has fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles in its second weapons test in 3 days. Today's were aimed at Japan and fell into the sea. Kim Jong-un is promising to turn the Pacific into a firing range if the U.S. doesn't call off joint military drills with South Korea. Professor Daniel Pinkston is an expert on
be a number of steps and indicators that would be observable if the peninsula were moving to conflict. So I think this is just basically a lot of hot air at this point.
The end is near for this country's 39th president. 98-year-old Jimmy Carter remains in hospice care at his home in Plains, Georgia, where locals are paying tribute.
Great man, great president, probably underappreciated by those who don't know much about him.
His family says Mr. Carter chose to spend his final days at home instead of in the hospital. Students and professors are returning to classes at Michigan State University 1 week to the day after a gunman opened fire in 2 campuses. 3 students and critically wounding 5 others. Some say it's too soon.
I just don't know how you could be on campus and be okay with going to class.
A petition demanding hybrid or online options has gotten tens of thousands of signatures, but school officials say coming back together will help the MSU community heal. 3 of the wounded students remain in critical condition. Police say the suspect who shot and killed himself had no apparent ties to the university. This is CBS News.
Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. STIH.com.
Your local Zematic dealer works hard to give you every advantage when it comes to your irrigation operations. This year, we're giving you a head start in preparing for the upcoming season by letting you choose between industry-leading interest rates and deep per-tower discounts on a new Zematic pivot. The earlier you act, the better your deal will be. Better deals, better equipment, better season. Better contact your local Zematic dealer today to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. See your local dealer or visit lindsay.com/spring sale for full details.
You might get wireless data everywhere, but do you have to use it all the time? If that's not really you, you can get the same nationwide 5G coverage as big carriers, but you pick a plan that you need for a lot less. Unlimited talk and text plans start at $15 a month, no contract. And now you can get the Samsung Galaxy A03s for just $49.99. Track phone. Now you're in control. While supplies last, 1 month equals 30 days. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, quick and easy. And soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 35 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perchep. Emergency responders are at the corner of Gratiot and Center Avenues in Saginaw Township for a semi versus a car crash. All westbound lanes of Gratiot Avenue are currently closed at Center. Again, that is a semi versus a car crash at Gratiot and Saginaw Township. All westbound lanes of Gratiot are closed at Center. If you happen to be driving through the area, please try to find an alternate route. Remember to slow down for emergency responders. A 70-year-old from Alpena has been arrested after police say he provided illegal drugs to young girls and forced them to have sex with him. According to the Michigan State Police, the investigation began around 2 years ago when an underage victim accused Thomas Arthur Van Dynen of sexual assault. Investigators say the search warrants turned up digital evidence, including countless images and videos, which they believe to have been manufactured by Van Dynen. On Wednesday, an arrest warrant was issued, and he was in court Thursday on one count of first degree of criminal sexual conduct during a felony, 3 counts aggravated child sexually abusive activity, using a computer to commit a crime, and a count of accosting and soliciting prostitution. Van Dynen is lodged at the Alpena County Jail on a $1 million bond. It's not a halfway house or recovery facility, but a new apartment building planned for Midland will provide housing for people in recovery from drug and alcohol addiction. Judge Michael Beal helped spearhead a project he expects to provide housing for up to 50 people in need of long-term housing. Andy's Place was named for a Grass Lake man who lost his battle against drug addiction in 2010. His dad, Mike Hurst, started the foundation called Andy's Angels to help people looking for recovery. Andy's Place is being funded through Andy's Angels and a $20 million grant from the Midland Area Community Foundation. Hurst says the idea is to provide a safe community-like environment where people can break free from the cycle of addiction and support one another. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Hypnosis designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. For only $49.99, become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminar Saturday, March 4th at the Bay Valley Resort and Conference Center in Bay City. Stop Smoking Seminar at 2 p.m. Weight Loss Seminar, 11 a.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
WSGW. Right, the weather forecast is coming up next. Our nation's 39th president has now entered home hospice care. After several short hospital stays, 98-year-old former President Jimmy Carter has decided to spend the remainder of his life at home with family. The former president spent some time in Michigan building houses with Habitat for Humanity in 2005. Here's Kenneth Benson.
He works harder than anyone else. He gets up early in the morning and he does a survey of the houses that are being built where he is at. And then he makes notes as to what needs to be done. And then he tells those home leaders when we get together for what they need to do during the course of that day in order to make sure that we can complete the houses within 5 days.
Benson worked alongside the former president during his visit to Southwest Detroit and Benton Harbor. He says they built more than 200 homes during his time in Detroit. The Secretary of State is calling for a ban on guns at polling places. Michigan News Network's Dan Jenkins has more in this report.
Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says she's working with state lawmakers, polling places, and enact a Voting Rights Act for the state of Michigan. Benson announcing the provision as part of a Michigan Voting Rights Act that she is working on with lawmakers to pass this year. It would ban firearms within 100 feet of polling places and other election venues. The Michigan Voting Rights Act would mirror and expand upon existing state constitutional protections that Michigan voters enacted in 2022 to protect and expand the voting rights of citizens throughout the state. She says the legislation will be drafted with the input of clerks, voting advocates, and other stakeholders.
It's time 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Partial sunshine develops here for today. We'll see high into the upper 30s. Winds out of the northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, a chance for rain and snow mixing at times, cloudy, and temperatures holding steady. Tuesday, a chance for snow early on, partly sunny skies, temperatures still holding steady in the mid-30s. Wednesday, a chance for some snow showers here, about an inch possible to accumulate, cloudy, a high of 32. Thursday, a chance for freezing rain, sleet, and snow mixing with cloudy skies, a high of 35. High of 21. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 37.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with two